of injuries.
Okay, so let's say someone has been injured at work. What is the first thing they should do?
Well, absolutely, the first thing they should do is report it to their supervisor or to the HR, but there needs to be a record. There needs to be a first report of injury that gets turned in or filed, but you have a 90-day notice requirement that you have to give notice to your employer, but I certainly wouldn't want anybody to wait 90 days. Report it immediately. A lot of times, and what we see are individuals who they think they've gotten hurt or they've heard a pop or they injured their back and they walk it off. They don't want to get fired. They don't want to report an injury. So they'll clock out. They'll go home, hoping it'll feel better. It starts hurting worse the next day. They are scared to turn it into their employer. Perhaps they'll go a couple of days, and eventually it gets so bad that a spouse says you need to go to the doctor, you go to the emergency room, or you go to urgent care, and you still at this point haven't told your employer. It turns out that it was something serious. What you thought might have been, just a little strain, you didn't want to get workers' comp involved, turns out to be very serious, a bulging disc or herniated disc. Well, that's bad because then you go and tell your employer that you need medical treatment, and an insurance company gets involved, and because you didn't report it immediately, they make the assumption that, well, you could have gotten hurt at work. You could have gotten hurt, at home, painting your house, working out in the yard. So it's very important that you give notice to your employer immediately. So if you suspect that you've gotten hurt on the job, my advice would be to tell someone.
Yeah. So would you agree with the statement that the longer you wait to report it, the more difficult your workers' comp claim can become?
Sure. Yeah. It clouds the water because workers' compensation is really designed to protect the employer as well as the employee. So it protects the employer because they get to control your medical treatment. It protects the employee because it provides benefits that if you've placed yourself in harm's way, helping someone else or a company be able to make money, then they have an obligation to provide benefits if you get hurt while engaged in your job or your performance of your job duties. So the idea here is that your employer, because they're providing this benefit, they get to choose your doctor. So when you report it and you feel like you need medical treatment, then you need to ask them to send you to a doctor. You just can't run off to your family doctor, to the chiropractor that you've been to before, or run to urgent care, to the emergency room. Now, if you're in a car wreck or something, an emergency situation, and you get taken to the emergency room, that's a little bit different. But what we see the problem is, and the question that you had was, the longer you wait, obviously, the more opportunity for there to have been an intervening event. And, obviously an insurance company gets involved and they would love to be able to deny your case. That's how they make money, by not paying claims. So, yeah, the sooner you report it, the better. Seek medical treatment authorized by your employer or the insurance company, because what the employer has to do is then they turn it into the insurance company. An insurance adjuster gets involved, and then that adjuster will then tell you where you can go for medical treatment. Or a lot of times your employer will send you to, one of the urgent cares, or one of the, like in Rock Hill here, it's Concentra, and Beaufort, it's usually Doctor's Care or one of those. So they're going to send you to the doctor. Oftentimes they're going to want to do a drug test because, that's very important to them. So they get to choose. They send you to a doctor, and you have to follow that doctor's orders, because another reason they can deny your claim is for you to refuse medical treatment. So you don't want to get in a situation where you go to a doctor on your own, or you don't follow the doctor's orders of the authorized treating physician.